Call the meeting to order. Roll call vote, please.
Persick.
Here.
Kerwin.
Here.
Kirby Hall.
Here.
Larry Hall.
Yes.
Van Dyne.
Here.
Tudor.
Here.
Tudor. Happy. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I declare the regular meeting of the Wilmington City Council on May 6, 2014 is now in session. Council, you have approval of minutes for April 22nd, 2014 before you.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Have a motion by Alderman Larry Hall. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Alderman Persick. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Larry Hall.
Yes.
Persick.
Yes.
Kerwin.
Yes.
Van Dyne.
Yes.
Kirby Hall.
Yes.
Studer.
Yes.
All yes. Motion passed.
Thank you. Mayor's report. A few things on here, or one thing on here, but a few things there aren't on here. But anyway, the first thing that's on the agenda under the mayor's report will be the 7th annual VFW Memorial Day Parade and Ceremony, which is going to be held May 24th, 2014. Naturally, VFW has invited all City Hall personnel to participate in the parade, and they've also extended the invitation for me to speak there as well, which I'll be doing. So just kind of mark your calendars for the 24th, which is Saturday. I believe the lineup's at 11 o'clock at the Wilmington Police Department on Main Street. All right. A few other issues. I think the one that's been keeping everybody in suspense is a long time happens to be the Project Lego. We are proud to announce tonight the Project Lego is Michelin Tire Company. As you know, they're probably one of the largest, if not the largest, tire manufacturers in the world. They will be the ones coming in to, with the 1.6 square,
It's
1.6 million square foot
1.7 million distribution.
Yeah. It's hard to say how many construction jobs this is going to create over the next year and a half. They look to be operational in July, I think, of 2015. And then after that, we're looking at probably, close to 200, if not more than 200 permanent employment jobs there, which will be good paying jobs based on the actions that the city took early on and the council took early on with the economic incentive package. So we look really forward to having them part of our neighborhood as they begin their process of moving in and building. Secondly, I'd also like to announce that the other business that's out there that's been building for a while is Transcold Express. Transcold Express is probably first of its kind in this country. I know it's the first of the kind in the country in regards to transporting fresh produce from California to the city of Wilmington in a process of 2 days using a dedicated reefer car train. And they'll also be sending product from the Midwest, dairy products and other things like that, from the Midwest back to California in the same allotted time. It's a unique process. It's very exciting that they're coming here. As of now, the scheduled grand opening, I believe, is May 21st. It can change. But they anticipate that the first train will roll in on the 21st of May, which I believe is a Wednesday. So we'll make sure we keep the council abreast of that situation when that time comes, when their grand opening ceremony on that. So we're very excited to have them in Wilmington as well. On a more serious note, as we all know, Alderman Hoppy has been ill for quite a while with health reasons. I won't go into detail in regards to that. Sometimes it's a challenge because we've all dealt with Helen for many years up here on the council, and she's very passionate about what she does here as an alderman, but she's also very passionate about this community. But sometimes, at the same time, we need to make sure that the representation is represented equally for all wards. I did have the opportunity to talk to Ms. Hoppy, and she understands, and I think I understand as well, that it's not something when somebody has these type of health-related issues that they should continue in this type of capacity. So I have reached out to Alderman Studer, and we'll also reach out to the public in for a 4th ward for any interested parties that may be interested in fulfilling Alderman Hoppy's seat for the remainder of her term, which will be actually until the next election, which will probably be next year. So me and Alderman Studer will work closely in that regards to make sure that the people in the fourth ward are represented. I anticipate, I'm hoping that probably by the first meeting in June, we should have the name, if not before then, to present to council for approval. So just want to keep everybody abreast of that situation. Also, I did have the opportunity yesterday to go to the annual mayor's luncheon with Senator Rezin. The featured speaker there was actually Ann Snyder from IDOT in regards to a lot of the transportation needs. And they very well recognized that Wilmington is kind of sticking way out there when it comes to transportation in regards to the Oleana. So we made note of that, and I had the opportunity to discuss briefly with her some of our concerns. So it was on there, and just something to keep in mind, I think, as you go through the process and we hear things, may not think it's much right now, but one of the big things they highlighted is, from a city standpoint, a lot of our roads are built by MFTs. But changes are afoot in the way the feds have put the requirements as far as mileage per gallon of vehicles and stuff like that. And anticipate that as those times progress, you're going to see revenues actually dwindle when it comes to motor fuel tax money. There's also stuff in legislation on the federal end in regards to the trust fund that puts other issues in regards to getting road improvements. Something that's probably 5, 6 years, 8 years down the road, but I think it's something that we need to watch carefully as times progress, because we do rely heavily on MFT funds for our road improvements. So just something to think about. Hopefully that they'll work on that, fixing that problem. So for me, that's all I have under the mayor's report. Do we have any citizens' comments tonight?
I just wanted to give you a quick update on what the coalitions have been doing. We had a very successful red carpet weekend. We gave away 500 goodie bags and a lot of popcorn. We made $120, and these are new shirts that we're selling.
Cool.
On Sunday, the National Guard came with little bikes for the kids to ride and the climbing wall, which everybody enjoyed. And the next meeting is next Monday at 8 a.m. at the fire department. All of you are welcome.
Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, the red carpet tour was I think it was a good event, especially for the businesses down there, for the traffic. The Bridge to Nowhere was used heavily, so that's good to see.
Good.
Parking lot too.
Yeah.
A lot of people went
Yes,
to
it was, I
back
did
and
notice
forth.
that too. I wanted to take a picture. It was totally full.
Yeah, it was very good to see. All right, Planning and Zoning Commission, their next regularly scheduled meeting is Thursday, June 5th, 2014 at 6 o'clock p.m. Committee reports, Building Ground, Parks, Health and Safety, Alderman Persick, Alderman Van Dyne.
Our next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, May 14th, 2014 at 6 p.m. there.
Water, Sewer, Streets and Alleys, Alderman Studer, Alderman Kerwin.
Mr. Mayor, I have two here. I move to approve option number 2 for the Buchanan Street sidewalk in the amount of $8,599.50.
A motion by Alderman Studer, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Persick. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Studer,
Yes.
Persick,
Yes.
Larry Hall,
Yes.
Kerwin,
Yes.
Van Dyne,
No.
Kirby Hall.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
I have another here. I move to approve the proposal by Outson Electric Incorporated in the amount of $99,365 for the Illinois Route 53 and South Arsenal Road temporary traffic signal installation.
A motion by Alderman Studer, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Kirby Hall. Any discussion?
It says temporary.
Yeah, this is part of the EDP that has to go in. Tony, if you want to explain why temporary?
You know, we're putting the temps in now so that when the construction starts, that will help with the control of the traffic. And the EDP funds, we did get approved to allow temporary lights to be put up instead of using the flaggers. Also, since this project could be over maybe 2 seasons to get completed, we didn't want to have the lights. Lights are always the last thing you end up putting in. We know we need the lights now, especially with the backups that are happening on South Arsenal, the trucks, and a couple of accidents we've had out there. So IDOT agreed to allow temporary signals to go up and to use the EDP funds for that. We have 1.3 million of EDP funds that are in excess for that project, so it's not gonna cost us anything, it's gonna come out of the EDP funds.
So how much of that stuff, when they put the lights permanently in there, how much of that stuff's gonna?
Well, the signals heads are all new, so those will stay. But mostly everything else, usually the control switch and all that, usually don't match up with the new box. So without looking at the bid, usually that's about 25% of the cost. So
And they're gonna work that in with the other two lights?
when we finally hook up,
When we go with the permanent one?
yes, the
or-
permanent ones will have the actual interconnects, because they gotta lay that line yet, the fiber down to the interconnects with all three lights.
A question for you. I noticed that number's a little higher than Colby's estimate. How many bidders did we have?
We had two bidders, Van Mac and us two. It's, this time of the season, this is kind of a unique. We thought Mead would probably bid.
We have Fox and Mead, what
Yeah.
happened to those guys?
They're just, the times are showing now that there's work out there. And this was such a small project, they don't want to get into the bidding. They did contact, one of them actually did pick up a bid packet, but didn't put a bid in. So, and we think the reason, the estimate was about 78,000 is what the engineers, the ESI came up with. But due to the fact that we went with all new signals heads, the cost of signal heads have gone up. They were, even ESI realized that some of that cost now has gone up. So I think the days of seeing some little bids possibly when we have little niche things are going to happen. I think the big projects will still get some great bidding, but this one, it surprised them a little bit. But they went through the whole bid sheet and actually did some follow-up checking with some of the companies, and they felt that it was a good bid. They recommended to go ahead.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Studer,
No.
Kirby Hall,
Yes.
Larry Hall,
Yes.
Kerwin,
Yes.
Van Dyne,
No.
Persick,
Yes.
5 yes, 2 no, motion passed.
Okay, the next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, May 14, 2014 at 5:30 PM.
Please ask the co-chair, let's see, Frank, Alderman Studer.
Next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, May 13th, 2014 at 5:30 PM.
Finance Administration and Land Acquisition, Alderman Studer. I believe Alderman Kirby Hall has that motion.
Kirby, you got that?
Sure. I move to approve the accounts payable report dated May 6, 2014, in the amount of $290,000, $189.74.
A motion by Alderman Kirby Hall, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Studer. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Kirby Hall,
Yes.
Studer,
Yes.
Persick,
Yes.
Larry Hall,
Yes.
Kerwin,
Yes.
Van Dyne,
Yes.
oh yes, motion passed.
Next scheduled meeting, Tuesday, May 20th, 2014 at 6 PM.
Ordinance and License Committee, Alderman Kirby Hall.
The next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, May 13th at 6 p.m.
There you go. Personnel Collective Bargaining, Alderman Hall, Alderman Persick.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Thank you. City Administrator's Report, Mr. Graff.
I give an update on the Route 53 water line IEPA permit. We now have to provide some financials to the IEPA in regards to funding on the project to pay the debt. So we're putting those figures together for them. At this point, everything else has been approved. So as soon as they believe that it's creditworthy, then they'll give us approval for that loan, and then we'll be able to get ready to go to bid on that project.
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah, sooner
We
rather
found out
than
today.
later. We're working on it. They had a water leak out there in front of the DFW again. This time it was almost a 2-foot split. We know we're on borrowed time. but our crew worked well together today. They kept the line open, they were able to shut down, to bring the pressure down a little bit, but they were able to work in the, in the hole with the trench box and everything like that, and watching them for about an hour out there, yeah, they hustled, and they got that leak fixed in less than 2 hours, and all the businesses were impacted with a little bit of pressure, but they all had water, and then they were able to turn the water on full blast. And the crews, when I left them at about 5:30, they were cleaning up and getting the hole filled in. So
I think that was what's really key, is they were able to maintain that pressure and still in a safe environment. But what it does is it prevents those businesses, but we got a lot of restaurants in that area, from having to go into boil orders, which could be very costly for a business, so that's good.
So the guys worked, it was amazing just to watch them work and understand that they were going to give it the best shot, not to turn the water off. Would have been easy for them just to turn the water off, jump in the hole, drain it, fix it real quick. But they wanted, for the businesses, they wanted to try it. And I applaud, Jack and Gary's crews. They were good at it. Ileana, the updates that's going on. I had a meeting with the district engineer up at Schaumburg today for a few hours. We're going over the final impacts into the Wilmington area. The Bobcat field is, we still know is in the corridor of the alignment for what they call the 3F alignment, which is the one that goes just a little bit north of Deer Creek and Foxtail, and sort of swings right around and comes down and catches the training field for the Bobcat. We truly had a lot of discussion about, is there any way they can move that to try to avoid those environmental issues and everything like that. 3F is their preferred, but 3B does avoid the Bobcat field. But the 3B does, though, is instead of taking just 11 homes on the 3F out, the 3B takes out 37 homes, which is mainly it's Deer Creek and Foxtail Commons, along with the homes still on Whittles Road too. So the one thing that they're looking for from the city, they feel like if the city has a preference, they like to know about it now instead of later, because once they get going with the record of decision and find out maybe the city really did want to do 3B instead of 3F, they want me to bring it back to the city council to get a final yes or no, or at this point you're neutral. You let them make the decision. So they gave us a date. They would like to have an answer by the 21st of this month. I told them that, well, that could probably work because our next council meeting is the 20th. The Wausau meeting's next week. Kobe did ask them if they could print out all the maps we had today, and they did. So we got all the maps. So at the Wausau meeting, Kobe will go through the alignments and the discussion. The impact of those extra homes is that something possibly, we had the neighborhood meetings. It was about 50-50. Some people said, take us. It's close enough already. And other people said, no, don't. Keep it north. So they're asking one more time because it does have a little bit of impact with Bobcat too. The other thing they want us to have a dialogue on is Whittles Road. Because of the erosion that's going on, along the curve, they sort of concur. I think what mostly everybody here knows, that road one day probably isn't going to be there. And this could be an opportunity to talk about possibly realigning Whittles Road. They're not promoting that as part of the Ileana project because they don't want to have to go through a whole new process. But they're asking us to, it could be an opportunity for us to look at that, and possibly if we want to look at maybe realigning, have it go around our water plant. I think there was some discussion in terms of the water main, taking that road around the backside and cul-de-sacking off Whittles Road. So there'll still be a pass-through to get out to the frontage road using Whittles Road. But Colby will talk about all that at the Wausau meeting and get some input. And then if you want to take action, you can, for recommendation for us to get back to the Ileana, or if you're just basically saying let the engineers pick the best routes in regards to it. So. The Ileana is offering up a grant of $500,000 to Wilmington, Manhattan, Beecher, and Peatone, and Will County. That's a planning corridor grant. So I have another meeting on Thursday, so I'll be bringing back some documents with intergovernmental agreement, because the Will County will actually be the facilitator of that grant. We'll receive about $30,000 of funding from the grant for our corridor planning. When we had HR Green sort of look at the cost for that, they're closer to $50,000. So I'm still debating with the IDOT and the grant people that do the unique impact of the interchanges and everything for Wilmington. We should probably get more dollars out of the grant instead of less dollars, because they're giving $30,000 across the board to everybody else. So I'll be lobbying my fellow administrators to be kind and say, put some more money toward Wilmington. We'll see what we can do. But we'll give you an update on that at the finance meeting. We want to talk about that grant, or do you want to take it to any special?
No, I think it'd probably be good enough to discuss it with the finance.
Okay. Because we'll have the intergovernmental agreement and all that to look at, we'll have to pass. So the updates there. That should do it for now.
The only thing I think is key in regards to the 3B and the 3A capital is there's got to be a way to get to those residents that are out there in regards to Foxtel and Deer Creek. You know, we had that meeting, and one was probably more no, where the other one was, I'd say 99% yes, take it. But, you know, my hard part, and I'll be honest, straight up, there's a vested interest, because I live in that area, so I'm going to try to stay out of the whole debate and discussion. I think it's prudent to me and prudent to you guys to make it, you know, an informative decision. But there needs to be some way to get it out there to the residents by mailing, you know, so they know, so they're aware of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the two aldermen of that ward want to send a flyer out, or you talk about inviting them to the Wausau meeting, or do a separate meeting?
However you guys want to do it, you know, I mean, you know, whatever you guys are more comfortable with, and I think that comes from these guys, so.
And we can either do everything at Wausau. I do know there's not much on the Wausau committee right now, but the guys always seem to come up with their projects and things. So maybe you want to think about
Do a separate one.
maybe do a separate one on Thursday. And we can do Thursdays, there's no meeting. Maybe just do a separate one on the 8th.
We have a meeting
Or on the
on
15th.
Yeah, we'll take away my meeting.
28th?
Yes.
No, we're talking about the
15th, not the 18th.
He said the 8th.
Yeah,
well, yeah, that's 15.
15th.
But I think, you know, Tony, what you probably would want to do is get with the two aldermen from that board as quickly as possible and develop, you know, the strategy, or, you know, because the only way to know is to find out what from there. And, you know, I had the meeting, you know, personally with those residents as well as the aldermen. I think it's actually come to a point that it needs to be debated from a whole council standpoint, and that's what looks like IDOT's putting on the city of Wilmington. In regards to that issue, they're putting that.
Well, I say they've already recommended 3.
Right.
And if we believe 3B should get another look, they said, we'll give you to the 21st to come back with a response. The other thing is, O'Brien's is impacted a little bit with the change with the 3B, 3F, because it does move, and it brings, the 3B brings it closer to O'Brien's than the 3F. So,
You just got to bring all that up.
yeah, just bring it up. So, I'll show you the maps. All right. Joe, you got that? That's it.
That's all you have?
That's all I have,
All
sir.
right. Well, lots of transition there. Attorney's report, Mr. Herman.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. The engineering firm working on the Route 53 water main had a question in regards to whether or not the city had an easement along part of Route 53. They weren't able to find it. So I was asked for what to do about it. I looked at it, and I think the problem was the way the recorder of deeds office works. You have, everything is categorized in a certain way, and they were looking for the city of Wilmington. But in looking into it, it appeared that about 20 years ago or so, when the easement was granted for this one particular area, the grantor conveyed it to the village of Wilmington. So, I mean, that screws everything up when that happens, so. But, so the engineers are happy now they found the easement and where it's at, and the fact that the city does actually have an easement. Back in 2012, we filed a plat of dedication of a couple of roads in Deer Ridge. This was a subdivision where this subdivision owned the roads, subject to the city approving the roads and taking it over. And that took a while, but that was done, but the county clerk isn't accepting the plat that was dedicated because there were some back taxes that were owed when the homeowners association had the road. So last week I filed a petition for a sale and error, which will remove those back taxes, and the petition asks for removal of all the taxes. So that should clear up the situation. So I spoke with a representative of a homeowners association and told them ahead of time that you may be getting a tax bill, you really shouldn't be, but these are the steps we're taking to handle the situation. So after this is taken care of, everything should be, no more tax bills. So, it's in the name of the city now, so there's a provision in the statute that allows the city to go in, the county could have done it as well, to go in and ask for a petition for a sale and error of the tax sale, because the city owns it now and there shouldn't be any taxes owed on a parcel of property the city or any other municipality owns. So that's the extent of my report.
All right, our next regular city council meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 20th, 2014, at 7 o'clock p.m. Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, motion.
Second. Favor? Aye. We're adjourned. Who wants the hockey game?
Oh, Hawks.